Judgments should not be set in stone. There should be regular reviews, as Peter was saying in abroad, to see if everything is happening, so people can bring things back to court. The methodology of many court reports is suspect, not just Kafka's reports. It seems to be that all the quacks under creation end up in the family court. Interviews are very rarely taped or video. Often the report writer himself, in partisans, misrepresent one of the parties. Reports are often late. That gives a disadvantage to litigants. The British Psychological Society has a code of conduct and a set of ethical guidelines which are second to none. And I've asked Kafka to look at these to see if they can incorporate them into their systems. Interviews often take as little as an hour, yet far-reaching decisions are made on the basis of these interviews. That is, why do we allow people to make a decision? Kafka is there to make welfare reports. They're very keen to make recommendations. Perhaps the recommendation should be taken out. It should be up to the court to decide recommendations. The court inspectorate should be given more power to hear complaints from parties to family law proceedings. Sociological research, never mind the press, sociological research should be permitted in the family court. The Data Protection Act 1998 should be enforced. Too often opinions are taken as facts and they become unassailable. All too often Kafka's officers and social workers include medical comments in their reports for which they are not medically qualified. The legal aid bill in this country is horrendous. Nearly £500 million a year is spent on family law cases. It actually creates an inequality because most men are in work, mothers who seek the court quite often get legal aid. They get barristers whereas men can't afford barristers, and it creates an inequality of life. What we would actually look at is an alternative model to the family court. There should be a presumption of equal parenting. Maybe that should be brought into the law, as Dominic was saying. We should be looking at voluntary agreements instead of agreements setting judgment in the courts as the first instance. I'm not saying that you can't resort to the courts in the end if those agreements are broken, but Canada, for example, has a system of collaborative practice. They have divorce coaches. Now, I'm not saying we all have divorce coaches because not everyone is categorised as a divorcee. They could be living with a partner when they separate. So let's have separation coaches. There should be a domicile. All too often, mothers or fathers, for instance, up sticks and disappear. That should be stopped. So the children should be able to keep at the same school, same friends, extended family, etc., etc. Domestic violence accusations should be heard in the criminal court. We should only be brought in if there's a conviction or not say a caution. What I'd like to point out to you is that abducted children are the most vulnerable, but parents are given precious little help from police forces. West Midlands Police Force, for example, regards international child abduction as a low priority. What I brought in is Ministry of Justice Child Abduction Unit booklet. We've got a copy of it. I'd like all MDs to get a copy of it so they can show it to their constituents. Because that's the first point of call. The Ministry of Justice actually works in partnership with Family Law Society and also with Green Light and other organisations. We actually find missing children. That's part of my job as case manager in the Family Law Society is to find missing children. I get precious little help from the police. When I find a child, I get precious little help after that as well. So all these leaflets should be put into the police station and the phone number should be given out. There is an abduction unit for Hague Convention cases and there's an abduction unit in the Foreign Commonwealth Office for non-Hague Convention cases. There should be much greater coordination between the child abduction unit and the police. This presentation has shown that there are problems in the operation of the family law system. Parents should be allowed to complain about reports. The system needs to learn from its mistakes. If it is blind to complaints, how can it actually reform itself? Every parent, in my belief, every sick parent, has the right to know their child. And more importantly, every child has the right to know their parents. And that seems to be lost out of the system. I actually believe it's time for a Royal Commission to be set up to investigate the horrors of the family court. I have suggested an alternative time to stop the demonisation of fathers. The CFA and the government often refer to fathers as deadbeat dads, yet some non-resident mothers do not contribute to the upbringing of their children. There is a woman's minister, for example. Perhaps it's time for the government to appoint a men's minister. CAFCAS operates under an unprofessional complaints policy and should be forced to adopt a transparent policy. Finally, I present an alternative model to the system of judgment. We need to educate our society that equal parenting is the only viable form of parenting. And thank you very much for your time.